Greetings, viewers. Night here to share some of my thoughts with you. So, as you all know, I went to BronyCon. I had an excellent time there, largely thanks to the people I hung out with and met. And I'll be thanking all of them for giving me such a wonderful time right now. Fallen Wish, you did your best to organize an entire chat for our trip to Baltimore. And while things did go south prior to all of us leaving, I'm glad they got better when we all met up. Foolery, you are a giant, dude. I credit you as one of the folks who kept our group organized when we were either in Fallen's room or exploring the convention center as a herd. Pastel Pros. I like to imagine we've gone from trusted friends to bitter enemies back to trusted friends again. No words can express how grateful I am that you consider me one of the folks you trust and enjoy having around. All my love is Spank Panic, and best wishes to you and your beau. Dear Grinder, I don't think we hung out that much prior to you dating Pastel, but you always struck me as a stand-up guy. You've been added to the list of people who told me to eat more so I don't become a complete skeleton, and I don't expect that to change until we're both gray old men. Yui-chan, just as much fun to pick on in real life as she is on Skype. Hope you had fun, kid. Massacre Molly, loved having you around. I would have gladly joined you in your search for Pastel and Yui the day before we all had to leave, but you disappeared and I turned my back. Editor and Crimson Glow, the king and queen of cosplay and drawing other people's butts. You guys were high up on my list of people I was hoping to hang out with this weekend, and I'm glad I got my wish. Like a lot of couples at BronyCon, you two were glued at the hip and fun to be around. Personally speaking, I'd have gone looking for you guys when we were afraid you two had gotten lost during lunch on the second day. Side note, I now enjoy spamming adorable puppy pictures at Crimsy on Twitter. Quillstroke. Like Ed and Crimson, you are among the people I wanted to meet and hang out with at BronyCon, and glad I did. I was super glad to run into you on day one of the con, and enjoyed every minute you hung out with our ragtag gang of misfits at the convention. Season the Wiccan. Honey, you're the entire reason I came to Baltimore in the first place. I wanted to spend time with a gal who caught my heart, and I enjoyed every second I spent in your company. By the way, my girlfriend is a big mean bully to our poor friend's summer sketch.
Okay, go ahead.
Some of you still looking ravishing.
I enjoyed every minute I spent with these folks, and I am glad they enjoyed hanging around me, despite me being a skinny-ass white dude whose dental health ain't the best. Speaking of, I believe I caught sight of Vita and Event Horizon outside the TF2 panel. I asked around, and Coolstroke later confirmed that yes, they were indeed there. A day later, I believe I ran into Horizon at the vendor hall. He seemed pretty willing to be chill, and it was actually really cool to run into him, even though we never exchanged words. Caught sight of FNGR a few times from day one to Sunday. While I know he said he wasn't going to go out of his way to cause trouble with people he didn't want to see there, I felt it was best not to draw attention to myself. Dear Nora Frost, you're hands down the prettiest blonde I've met in 2017. Cool jacket, by the way, and I loved running into you during the con. I spotted Manga Common on day one and had a conversation with him outside the TF2 panel. While Common's one of my favorite people in this fandom, and I'd like to have talked more, I know he didn't owe me his time. Common, if you're watching this, it was cool running into you, and I hope I left you with a good impression of me. Dear Artsy Moralesque, it was nice seeing you at the vendor hall, and I hope you had a great time, kid. Got to finally meet my lovely little sis Sega sister and her future husband, the voice of reason. Love you, Sega. And I'm glad you were one of the last people I talked to before I had to go home on Sunday. I only hung out with Twist a total of 3 times. And I have to admit, he looks a lot like his OC. Minus being a wolf-tailed blue bunny man with horse legs, of course. He was chill to hang out with, and I'm pleased to have met him in person. Dear Finn, Eliora, and Thespia, it was cool running into you guys several times during the con, even though it's really only Finn I'm on regular talking terms with. Finn is a social butterfly, and I wouldn't change him for the world. Dear Pinky Rose, it was cool meeting you, and I hope we can hang on Skype if you're cool with adding each other as contacts. Season's always telling me that you're like a real-life Pinkie Pie, and you seem cool, friendly, and full of energy. While I'm not really a fan of Dr. Wolf's TF2 Endless Anarchy series, I gotta admit the first video shown on that panel made me laugh, and the last one hit me right in the feels. I have actually been debating with myself whether or not I should talk about this, but apparently people have been posting the Wilsonese proposal to his girlfriend Katie all over YouTube and Twitter. So best wishes to the both of them. Naturally I can't tell you everything that happened on that panel, but if you're subscribed to Lightning Bliss, I would keep an eye on her channel. I went to go see the panel for Daughter of Discord by Disney Fanatic with Season and Pastel, both out of personal interest, and to see them squeak at finally getting to meet their senpai. Not only did I enjoy the panel itself, and am I considering marathoning Daughter of Discord, I also got to meet DF, and she seems like a really nice gal. Now, while the majority of my time at BC was awesome, I'm not gonna pretend it was all sunshine and rainbows. I had to sprint from my room at the restaurants to Fallon's because plans for our party had gone sideways, and I didn't care to be rained on the night we tried to make it to DF's panel. I honestly intend to go to the Hilton in 2019 because the hotel connects to the con center. Back on track, the con was a fun and much needed break from petty drama and assholes. You know who you are. Despite Pastel telling off a few people and us having to walk in a freezing downpour to DF's panel, there was no major drama. If you follow Pastel, you'll also have heard that she and her mortal enemy Sweet Bloom have also buried the hatchet and ended their feud. My last interactions with Secret Dreamer on Skype were rather negative, but she seemed to lamely get along when I hung out in her room on the night of the gala. I also think I saw her wave hi to me in Season when we were wandering the vendors hall a day earlier. There is one thing I'm still hearing about, though. While I made it a point to ignore Zarkon when I ran into him at BC, my friends kept talking about how they still find him obnoxious and overbearing during and after the con. They had no interest in him following us around, and felt that he was just asking for trouble by following people who have expressed their own displeasure for him. For example, I saw him following Toon Critic, Mangakaman, and Aeon of Dreams around the vendor hall. And I know that Toon Critic is someone who's had a negative experience with Zarkon in the past. Not only did I later hear that he creeped out Keyframe, but I also heard that he tried to have a full-on debate at a Q&A panel, and when the con staff tried to take the mic from him because he was taking too long, he jerked the mic back and said, "I'm still talking." Q&A panels are not debate panels. You ask a question, the host or any other host answers, you walk away and sit down. My girlfriend also told me she found your behavior at the TF2 panel to be extremely obnoxious. And I doubt she's the only one who feels that way. Dear Zarkon, you have an unfortunate habit of rubbing people the wrong way and leaving a bad impression on them. I would suggest actually working to improve yourself as a person rather than just assume apologizing fixes everything. I'd also advise to drop this entitled attitude. Otherwise it won't just be horse famous people that don't want to see you at the next BronyCon. The thing that topped all of the displeasing experiences at BC though was Season having to run back to her grandparents' room a half hour after the Grand Galloping Gala had started. I'd have loved to spend the whole night with Season and the rest of Pastel's squad, but the last time I spoke to Season during the convention was at 7 a.m. in the morning when we had to say goodbye. Dear Death Alchemist, thanks for coming up to me to talk on the last day. Even though we hang with different crowds, it was super cool that you wanted to talk with me. I was actually feeling pretty alone, so I appreciated it, dude. My final con experience was sitting on a plane for 3 hours with cold air blowing in my face. I could list off a number of things I'd have preferred to that, but I feel that this video is already going on too long. Maybe next time. Anyways, I am Night and I'm saying thanks for letting me share my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my experiences, and I hope you'll share your thoughts with me in the comments below.